Good evening, kiddo. Man, I look rough. Look at the hat. Cal Spoon, Public Adjuster Bootcamp.com, IPABC.com. We'll be doing our first actual estimating camp next week here in Florida. Along the same veins as the camp that was this week. Very successful camp. A good camp. They're all good camps. Anyway, we've got the classroom being tiled right now. We're out here. If you can hear all that noise in the background, we're out here in the middle of the war zone. The reason we're in the middle of the war zone is because that's where the fight's at. That's where you want to be in the middle of it. That's where it's at. We saw very quickly that there needed to be some kind of structure put in and somebody to at least provide it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to provide it. I don't care if you're a public adjuster, if you're a contractor, if you're an attorney, a consultant, an appraiser. What we do in here is we teach you how to estimate, as we estimate as PIAs who are ex-contractors. We know how to build with our hands. We know how to build with the paper, and we know how to build in exactness. And we know what the policy means. So those combinations of things makes us extraordinarily adept at writing valuations that are, can't really argue with them. Can't really say that, okay, well, we don't know that. Well, show me why you don't know that. And it becomes that simple. Now, as a contractor, you need to be charging the right items. If you're struggling financially and you're working your butt off and you're not going out to the strip clubs and you're not buying yachts and doing all those things and you're still struggling really hard, what you need to do is take a step back and look at how much you're charging. That's going to be the common denominator, and you look at all the numbers for contractors, and that's typically the reason that they fail, is they just simply undervalue themselves. Or let the insurance company tell you what they value, which is even worse. We will never refer contractors to insureds. It's not something we do. But if we all understand what we're doing and what should be charged and what should be done, then that means that whatever you try to build the insured should be in line with that. You should understand what it is and that what you actually should be charging as a business and what every single business would require to operate, things like overhead and profit. There's no silver bullet, but you put it on there every time, and then if they don't, then you need to fight. But that's an argument that as a contractor only you can have with the insured. The insured must take that fight for you, or perhaps attorney if you have an AOB status. Not a big fan of those, but they exist, and sometimes they actually work for the insured to their favor. But we have a lot of abuse of them. It's the same thing as PAs. They keep saying, okay, well, these bad PAs and these bad contractors, these locusts are coming in here. That's singularly aggravating because the people that are doing that are criminals. When they become a criminal, they're going to lose their license, which means they're no longer a PA, they're no longer a contractor. Those things are automatic when you get convicted of doing something like what they're doing. So if they had a license before, they will lose it. If they didn't have a license, then they never were a PIA or a contractor. So understand the frustration is not that they are, we're in the middle of the war zone. Also, I think on day 50 of day 75, and that was just the bike ride. I got about 6-7 miles in. The aggravation stems from the fact that you're calling these people by professional name when they are not professionals, nor are they licensed, nor will they be if they were committing those acts. A criminal is a criminal is a criminal, a thief is a thief is a thief. But your professional title doesn't delegate that. It actually gets removed the second that you get convicted of any of those things, and oftentimes the commissioner has the ability to proactively suspend your license until outcome of the trial. So there's not a lot of innocent until proven guilty. If they think that you're harming the public, they're going to pull your license, or they should pull your license. I think they're turning a blind eye on much of it so they can have cannon fodder. But, follow the rules. It's that simple. Same thing in estimating. Don't put fluff on the wall. And I understand that they keep moving the goalposts, and I understand that this is what this is about. We don't let them move the goalposts, and you should never let them move the goalposts. What was okay to build today or yesterday should be the same as today. There shouldn't be a new list that the insurance companies come up with every day of things that they are or they aren't going to pay. There's a fallacy in that, and that fallacy lies in the policy. The policy is the one that dictates who's going to pay what when. If the facts of the law dictate it is reasonable and necessary, then they would owe it. And now I don't say that lightly. I don't say that they just owe things wantonly, or that because you say you're an artist, that they owe an additional amount of money. They don't. They owe to put it back just like it was. And if they can't do it just like it was, then they're going to have to do better. Now that brings us to the repair or replace. What you often hear is that we owe to repair or replace, which is correct. Like most things, they simply are not telling you the specific thing behind that brings you back to pre-loss condition. And I'll give you just a little caveat before I go. The roof. If they're trying to patch a roof from any kind of damage that's a covered peril, and they're trying to put a patch on the roof, you only have to ask yourself a very simple question. Did that roof have a patch on it prior to the loss? If that answer is no, and the insurance company is attempting to put them a patch thereafter, a patch does not bring them to pre-loss condition, which means that violates the whole covenant of the policy. So things like we're going to put a patch, those things should never exist, because the insurance policy is not a retail policy. It's not the cheapest that you can get it done. It's the cheapest that you can get it done that brings it back to pre-loss condition. That makes it an indemnity policy, not a retail policy. So we're going to have next week, it'll be 19th through the 21st. We're going to do it right here in Florida. We've got a beautiful classroom. They're doing the tile in there right now. We had a boot camp this week. We're bringing the technology in. We're going to do one day in the classroom, and we're going to structure your estimates out. We're going to put all of the correct charges that should populate on your estimate prior to you ever opening the estimate up. So when you open the estimate up, everything that you need is already there, and what you now need to do is add the facts of the loss. We're going to teach you that on Monday. And then we're going to set expectations for Tuesday, because Tuesday we're going to all meet out in the field. We're going to go to very specific houses, and we're going to go to different losses here in Florida that are the hurricane losses. And in those losses, you're going to adjust those losses. You're going to have one of our trainers with you, either myself or one of the other people that I trust heavily that write our estimates with Insurancebusters.net. And we will go out in the field with you, and you're going to write an estimate. You're going to scope it. And then when you get done scoping it, we're going to go back to the classroom. We're all going to sit down, and we're going to go over every one of these. We're going to build the estimates out, we're going to review them, and we're going to complete them and get them sent to the office. What that does is it teaches you the process. It teaches you how to go out in the field, write the damn scope, come back to the office, write the damn claim, submit it completely, correctly, the way that it should be submitted. And I don't care if you're working for a carrier or not, it's the same process pretty much. But we do it for the insured. Once that's done, then that's when your payment comes. So no matter who you are or what you do, your end result is based upon that estimate. Whether it's a PIA estimate, whether it's a contractor estimate, whether it's an attorney's estimate. Everybody's value lays within what that estimate or valuation is, and it is absolutely the crushable of the whole entire process. If it's factual, you didn't throw poop on the wall, then you're going to be fine. If you're throwing poop on the wall, guess what? You're probably going to go to jail at some point in time for fraud, because that's illegal. So next week, the link is in the box. We're going to be here in Florida. The address is there. It will be the Estimating 101, and it'll be hardcore. It'll be hands-on, in the field, in the classroom, both. And we will make sure that when you leave, you understood what it is that we did, why we did it, and what you're supposed to do when you leave out of that classroom. Cal Spoon, protect the insured.